Hey there, it's Jane. I am a watercolor artist and I would like to hang out with you today. It's Sunday, maybe enjoy a cup of coffee with me. And this will be the fourth watercolor painting session. It's a kind of a hangout when I will casually talk about the painting process as well as other things. And you can join me, maybe grab pencil or watercolors or anything that you like and just spend some time creating something nice. I will be painting in my watercolor sketchbook. It's a 400 series watercolor sketchbook by Strathmore, but I will link all the materials that I'm using in the description down below this video. I used a bit of a limited palette with mostly just 4 paints. I will list the paints down below so you can find them there, but you will see that it's a majority of bluish or purplish tones as well as hints of pyrrole red that I really like, probably the most amongst all the reds that I own. So I haven't been satisfied with my own art lately, and it's been a long time, but even before crisis began, I started to slowly neglect practice. It wasn't anything done on purpose, it was just that slowly I stopped noticing that I did not draw as much and I did not paint as much, mostly during my watercolor workshops that if you follow me, you know that I also teach live watercolor workshops mostly to beginners and intermediate artists. So I always paint during workshops because something like a live demo is always required. But other than that, I usually just didn't have time. I have a family, and you know how it is, a whole bunch of stuff, and I don't even take days off. So that was the most crazy things. And it's always a matter of priority when you don't practice, because there's always 101 reason why not to do something. But as long as this thing is very high on your list of priorities, you will always have time for it because you prioritize it over something else, and that's what I didn't do. And it seems crazy to just neglect practice because being a good artist was always very, very high on my list of priorities, even above being a teacher or being a good teacher. But these priorities somehow switched and I didn't even notice, I didn't check with it. So long story short, I really hate it when people find excuses for not to practice, and I'm one of them, and it's just horrible. Okay, so I'm not complaining. I just wanted to report that I realized this and started to seriously work on my skills, which includes at least 3 pages in my drawing sketchbook every single day and at least 1 watercolor exercise every single day. So filling this sketchbook by the end of the year is also my goal. That is high on the list of priorities. The most unfortunate thing about having developed some painting or drawing skills is that they don't really stay with you if you don't use them. They go away slowly and you don't even notice sometimes. So I did notice that when I started to seriously draw again, because I neglected the practice up to a point when I couldn't even draw a decent face. And I know that I could draw maybe a year ago much better than I do today. And it might just be a feeling that I have and nobody else sees, but I can't see anything else but mistakes when I do a very basic drawing, and it is very disturbing. Finally, yesterday, after about 3 weeks of a couple of pages in my sketchbook every single day, that I started to feel like I'm getting somewhere, that my hand is a bit more relaxed and the lines are flowing more naturally. Even ideas started to finally flow. By the way, the painting that I'm doing right now is also one of those that didn't turn out to be as I expected, but I am not unhappy about how I stylized it or about the background. Turned out very fine, I think, but I messed up the most important thing yet again, and that was the face. I don't think that the drawing was so bad, but I overworked it with watercolor, and this sketchbook doesn't hold too many layers of paint. And then I tried to fix it with color pencils, then I tried to fix it with white gouache, and all the fixes just looked very bad. Like, I don't want to spoil this for you because I invited you to watch my process, and now I'm telling you that, oh, but this painting will suck in the end. I just don't feel like I could only upload videos of paintings that I find successful, because that would mean that I will never upload another video. It's just everything that I do is part of the process that I'm going through, and I'm learning from my own mistakes, so you can maybe too. And it's fun to watch. Maybe some of you won't think that the painting is so bad, but oh my gosh, I can only see mistakes right now. This is the part when I will ruin the face, so watch closely what not to do. Don't put too many layers of watercolor on top of each other in a sketchbook that can't really hold that many layers. And make sure that you know exactly where the light is supposed to be and where the shadow is supposed to go, because it's much better to do it right the first time than place your shadows incorrectly and then try to correct it for another hour and mess it up. So that's what I did. I'm not proud of it, and this is exactly the kind of problem that sketching will help with, because it's not just about making your lines look good, but mostly about trying to observe and getting to know the form that you are working with. So in this case, it's the face, which is a very complex form. It has a lot of curves and a lot of places you need to account for and to be able to paint it correctly. It's very easy to forget. It's very important to get back to fundamentals and do it often, do it frequently, so that it becomes a second nature. So this is where I'm at right now with my artworks, and the sheer fact that I have started to practice very seriously helps me to feel more at ease when I produce bad results, because that's what's expected when you are trying to progress to the next level. It's normal that you are producing works that you're not satisfied with, so I try not to take this as bad and just push through. And yeah, that's what I wanted to share with you regarding the art that you are seeing right now. But I also wanted to ask how you are. I'm hoping that you are healthy and still keeping safe. I wanted to ask you how you're handling the lockdown maybe, or the restrictions in your particular country or town. If you find it very hard to handle mentally, you can share that down below. I will gladly hear what you're up to. Maybe some of you used the particular times that are difficult to practice drawing, because I assume that that's why you are here, that you have this kind of common interest with me. In Slovakia, we are very slowly removing the restrictions that were caused by crisis, but not as many as would allow me to continue providing my customers with live workshops, so that's still on hold. As you maybe know, if you follow me for a while, my live workshops are the main source of my income, and before crisis I was teaching every single weekend, so I still have a lot of customers who had already booked the workshop, but the restrictions caused that we are basically forbidden to organize events at this time, which is understandable because I have 12 people in a very small room for 7 hours. It's just natural that during pandemic you can't do that. When the restrictions first came into force, most of them were really understanding, and now after 2 months, when the restrictions are slowly being lifted, they get very impatient, and because they are tired of waiting, but the restrictions are still haven't been lifted from the events. Basically, there is nothing I can do, but the pressure is getting under my skin more than ever. I guess I'm not a very nerves of steel kind of person, and it makes me really feel unease every single day. My reason says to me that it's not personal, and that It isn't entirely my fault that the workshops are not being held as I promised, but my sense for responsibility says that I made a promise to my customers that I am, for whatever reason, unable to fulfill, and that's just a tough pill to swallow for me right now. So I guess there's no point in analyzing it. I really did my best to keep the community together during crises. We do have a Slovakian watercolor community on Facebook, and I was trying to produce videos for them, organize watercolor painting challenges, and they really enjoy that, but it's still a poor replacement for the live workshops that they got accustomed to and they love, and I love, by the way. So we just all have to be patient, but I really feel guilty. Mainly those of you that have your own business know how important your customers' happiness is, and no matter what the circumstances are or who's at fault, if the status is that people are not happy, the whole livelihood is at stakes. And before I started to teach, I have been doing art on side of another job for too many years to know how painful it is, and I never want to go back to that. It would probably just break me. So if I was to summarize what I was just blabbering about for the last 3 minutes, it would be that the most valuable thing that you can have with your customers is their trust, and you spend years and months developing that, nurturing that, and this crisis is a very big helper in ruining that. And once you ruin that, then your whole business, it might just be done for. Let's just hope that it won't come to that, and I'm really ready for some good news and ready to jump into the classroom and start teaching the second I know that I can, safely, of course. And up until that time, I will keep on producing videos and practicing, and will hope for the best. And guys, I really want to say that I'm thankful to be healthy, and I'm really thankful that my family is healthy. I really hope that all of you are safe. Let me know what you think of this particular painting and how your own practice goes. I will see you again in a couple of days. So up until that time, have a great Sunday and the rest of the weekend. Bye bye.